Hello everyone and welcome to Club Live here at Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are live on YouTube tonight, so as usual, get your comments in. If you could like, share, tell your friends to subscribe, much appreciated. Before I bring the lads in, obviously a story broke today about an unfortunate event out in Benfica. Condolences to Thomas McAllister's family from all of us at Club at 22. Tragic thing. A young boy as well. Nobody should go to football and not return home. So our wishes go out to his family. So yeah, it's hard to move on from that, but we need to divulge into the world of Rangers. I apologise for us being on slightly late tonight. Usually it would possibly be me or somebody, but it is Mr. Carney who I would say it was late, but it wasn't. It was equipment failure on his behalf. So yes, I'll introduce you first, Scott. What happened to the laptop then, eh?
Oh, me, I don't know. I'm ready for throwing it out the window. I don't even know if it's going to see it right through this podcast. Yes, Troops, that was my fault. I am sorry. The laptop just decided to play a wee bit funny buggers for some reason. But no, good to be here and echo your words, mate. Tragic news today, it really is. It's an absolute shame. But you're right, there's no way to move on, mate, so we just shall.
Yes, and last but not least, Jamie, how about you today?
Good to be here, boys. Yeah, I'm still, you know what, still riding high after the result last night. It felt a bit smash and grab. It kind of felt like a win. Good to be here, and I'm sure we'll get on to the hot topics of the game last night. So
yeah, the best place to start is last night. After the disappointment of Saturday and losing to Motherwell, getting the get out of jail card, what happened on the Sunday, with Celtic obviously losing to Hearts. A European trip probably was a decent tie for Rangers. For me, there's no pressure for Rangers in Europe. I think it suits Rangers. I think it suits Rangers being away from home in Europe as well. We are down to the very bare bones with this team as well, which we will come on to later on in the podcast. But I mean, Carney did I listened to Carney's post-match last night about the game. But Jamie, I mean, we'll get into the game, but your initial reactions on it, I'll be honest myself, all I wanted, and Carney said the same as post-match last night, was keep the tie alive. Just keep the tie alive for going back to tie books. And I think they did even better than what I expected, Jamie. If somebody had offered me a draw before we kicked off, I would have grasped it for me. And I thought, with the players we had missing and who we had to pick from, I thought it was a fantastic result by Rangers last night.
Yeah, I mean, I think any of us would have took a draw, mate. I think a 1-1 or a 2-2. You're going back Ibrox. You know what it's like on European nights. It's an absolute cauldron. So overall, a good solid performance. I think actually we played better in Europe. We have. We'll go on to more specifics later on, but I think great result. Keeps the tie alive and keeps the interest going for Europe. As you say, a bit of a depleted squad last night, which at the start was a bit of a worry, but I think we got there in the end. I mean, I'm sure we'll come on to it. Things like Cole McKinnon coming on, he's kind of leaning into youth players now, but not overall delighted with it, mate, and it keeps us going for next week, keeps us in it.
Yeah, Carney, I mean, his starting lineup, what he went with, which Ryan always says in the podcast, attack, was very attacking. It wasn't a Rangers of, if you'd say, when we were going to Manchester with Walter, when we would go away from home, basically shut up shop, try and get a 0-0 or something and bring it back to Ibrox. He went in with attacking lineup, Carney, and have a go. And I like the way he plays in Europe, because that's us went to Betis, obviously, scored 3 goals out there, and we've went out to Benfica, a team, and let's not forget, a team that hasn't been beaten in the Europa League at home, and we went out and had a go. I know it was backs to the walls a lot of time, which you expect, but it was a very positive team that he put out.
It was, and it was probably the strongest starting 11 that he had available for choice to pick from, just due to the way the injuries were. I like the fact that he's even saying in the press conference beforehand that I don't go out to try and draw a game of football. Okay, later in the game, if it looks like a draw is the best result that we're probably going to get, then of course he would adapt to the game at that point and try and keep a hold of the result that you have. and I think that's the way it should be. The history has shown us in this in the Europa League since Gerrard probably that if we just go out and we just attack and we just have a go and we see what we can do, then you never know what it might lead to. Donald Rice, thank you very much for the £5, mate. That's very much appreciated. Thank you. Being late and we're still getting tipped. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Staunch club at 22 there. But no, and I think it's the kind of the way, what have we got to lose? It's almost a free hit for us at this stage. We're at the point now where nobody really expects us to go any further than this, maybe into the next round, considering how well now, especially after the result last night, but it's almost like a free hit. No one, I don't think there's many teams that want to play us. I really don't, because of the way that we will come and have a go, and if they have a bit of an off day and we're on it, then especially with the second tie being at Ibrox, there's not many people fancy that just now, and it's brilliant. And as far as I'm concerned, I really enjoy watching it. I would much prefer we were doing that than holding on for a nothing each, and it's just backs to the wall for 90 minutes and we don't get out. And because none of us enjoy football like that. None of us enjoy watching football like that. We have to play against it quite a lot of the time in the league. So no, I'm a credit to Clement and credit to the players for the way they handled themselves last night. Was it perfect? No. Did they go out there and give us absolutely everything? And it's what we ask every single time that they go out there and play football wearing a Rangers shirt. They did. They left absolutely everything out there. And for me, it's credit to them and credit to Clement.
Yeah, no, definitely. Jamie, obviously in the game we started the best possible way. Rode a wee storm first 5 minutes, but went up the park and a fantastic goal by Tom Lawrence. Great work by Silva and Diamandi as well. But after that, I want to talk about the penalty to Benfica, which comes just before half time. Now, I don't know what the rules of penalties now are on handballs. When I initially seen it, and I was watching it in the pub at the time, John Suter goes to head, hits his head first, then hits his arm. I thought the rule was that if that happens, it's not a penalty. I've heard other people say it today that the rule will get changed apparently, but what's your thought on it? I mean, if that is the rule and it's a penalty, fair enough, but this handball rule at the moment it's not just happening in our domestic league, it's happening in Europe now, and it's what are these guys meant to do defending? It's what they're meant to do with their arms.
It's absolutely ludicrous, mate. It really is. And even Clement himself calling it out in the press conference and talking at length about it too. What's John Suter meant to do? Chop his arm off? Do you know what I mean? He needs his arm to leverage himself up to head that ball. So actually, I thought when the referee was taking that long, he was going to think, all right, it's not a pen. And I don't know if somebody posted in our chat or mother chat the actual rules. Was it maybe in ours? And by the letter of the law, it's actually not a penalty. And the thing is, like, ever since that new handball rule came in, I just think it's been a total waste. Sometimes it's actually worked in our favour. Sometimes it's worked against us. But really, like, you're just always going to be given pens, and I just think they should scrap it and just go back. It was always very simple with a handball in the box. It was ball to hand or hand to ball. That's it. Just keep it like that. Go back to the old ways, so I think Suter was seriously unlucky to have that pen given against him. If that rule stays in, we're going to be seeing a lot more penalties like that. Definitely.
Yeah, I kind of felt for Suter because he's been at the heart of a lot of goals we've conceded this season. But the one last night for me, I thought he was hard done for. And what was your thought on that penalty? Were you the same as kind of me? You thought that shouldn't be a penalty, basically, when you seen it?
When I first replay, when I seen it back at what they were looking at, I went, oh. And then obviously when it was slowed down a wee bit, I went, no, hang on, he's headed that first. I was like, so that's not a penalty. So, and where I say I was in Aberdeen, I watched it with a few Rangers fans, and they were saying the same thing. I was like, I don't think that's a penalty. And I was like, I don't think it's a penalty either. I don't really see the next thing they're going to say that players can't jump with their hands out at all. So everyone's going to be jumping about like do the salmon thing. That there was the thing on whatever social media it was. Like, you can't do that. Your brain won't let you do that. I made a perfect example. See, when you go and stand up out of a chair, you use your arms. You immediately use your arms. It's what you do. Your arms move out as you stand up. It's all about balance. John Souttar's just flung himself at it. The siege kind of defender in him just thought, I'm getting my head on this no matter what. The only thing that I can think of why it was awarded against us is because if it doesn't hit his arm after hitting his head the way it did, then where is it going? Because he is very much at the front post and it could be going towards goal. But I think that's a bit of a cop-out from the ref, I'm not going to lie. For me, it's not a clear-cut penalty due to the rules the rules that are in play just now. So I don't think it was right to award it. And it's nice to hear you, one guy on this podcast, his name starts with a J, changing his mind about John Souttar last night, because straight in the chat straight away I went, that's not Souttar's fault. I was like, give the guy a break here, but you and Jamie and Nicky were ready for lynching him.
That was a knee-jerk reaction by me.
Yes.
And I also hadn't seen all the angles yet in my defence. And after I seen the angles, somebody actually had a very good, I'm just going to pop it up here, very good point about the angles for the VAR and showing it. See, when you see it from over Souttar's right shoulder, it actually looks like handball. But when you see it from the other side, you can clearly see that it's headed onto his arm. So I think that's a great point. To be fair, I think are they using all the angles that are utilised? Do you know what I mean? Probably not.
I thought it was dodgy, but we've seen umpteen dodgy ones this season, especially the last couple of weeks in our league, not just for Rangers and Celtic, but the majority of our league. So I think it's something that needs to be looked at overall, to be honest, because it's going to cost a big team that Rangers are a big team, but in Europe, a big teim like a Liverpool or somebody like that, and there'll be a big thing on it. So we'll just need to wait and see. But I'll be honest, lads, it sucked the life out of me, because conceding a goal just before half time is the worst thing ever in football. And I did think to myself, will we feel sorry for ourselves? Will we kind of go back into our shells? And you've got to give this Rangers team credit. They went right up the park. They won a free kick. Their goalkeeper looked a bit suspect. Ball came to Tav, who puts it back out to Silva, who does brilliantly well. And there is the man that covers pretty much every bit of the earth. And Dujon Sterling running in and putting in the back of the net. What a response for Rangers, Jamie. It was, you would have never dreamed that at that point, would you?
Well, you see that there's 5 minutes added on, and what you're 2:30 into it when they score, you think, right, okay, just get half time, 1-1. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
But we just show intent. We show intent, and that's the Clement way. We talk about it on the pod all the time. It's going forward. It's trying to win the ball in the box. Albeit, yes, the keeper makes a bit of a hash of it. It comes back into play. Tav picks it up quickly. But see the cut back inside from Silva. I actually think, having seen him last night, off the left wing is his natural position, by the way. Like, I really think because I know he played there for PSV, but I just think his wee cut back in, and he knew exactly where he's putting it. But a late run from Big Dujon, honestly, it was so good. And that guy he's just getting better and better, isn't he? He's absolutely brilliant, and he's everything that we want in a Rangers player. I think if you could have a team of Dujon Sterlings, by the way, we'd be doing all right.
Yeah, I mean, Dujon Sterling, I thought he was unlucky to get booked in the first half, to be honest. And when he was booked,
it was never a booking. It's never a booking.
When they're booking for me, and I'll be honest, when I seen him booked, just the way he plays football, I kind of shat myself thinking he could go off the park somewhere. You're just the way he plays. He's a bit gun-ho at time, the way he runs, but to go up the park and make it 2-1 before half-time, it was the perfect response by Rangers, and it deflated Benfica, and you could hear it in the crowd.
Yeah, I think we probably underestimated how unhappy Benfica fans were. I think you could tell by the turnout.
They're not very happy at all, are they?
Well, they're not very happy at all. But the turnout there, the home support it wasn't exactly a full home support that they had. So I think you could clearly see that they were a wee bit unsettled with or unhappy with what they've seen previously, obviously with the 5-0 defeat at Porto last weekend. But the response from going to go down was, because I was the same, as soon as it got to 1-0, I thought, 1 each, I was like, God, we're kind of going to limp to half time now, and it's kind of took the shine off the half for us, because
He did. We'll come on to Silva. He's in one of a group of players we'll talk about. But Jamie, after obviously the second half kicks off, and it's going to be backs to the walls. You know, they're going to have a lot of the ball, Benfica. I thought we rode it quite well. We talked before we come on here, Jamie, in terms of we thought they were quite wasteful in front of goal, Benfica, when a few chances came. And it would only be Rangers to concede a goal like this. I mean, the two goals we've conceded and a dodgy penalty, which isn't our fault, but the second goal we conceded, it's a decent ball into the box, but Goldson, who's not had a great week or so, to be honest, with Rangers at the moment, to me, he gets caught in no man's land, and I don't think he knows what to do. And I think he tries to play it out, and it goes in the back of the net. And it's a bit of a sucker punch, Jimmy, because it's 2 each, and there's still a good 25 minutes to go at that point.
I'm going to say something fairly controversial. I don't even think it's just a week or so from Goldson. I think he's been fairly off the boil for a while, boys. I think he's... And as we spoke about before, I think we're so used to Goldson 8 or 9 out of 10 performances, and of late, he's really... I think he's been a little bit suspect. I don't know if Butland shouts and says that he's going to come and get it. It's clearly going to Butland's right. It is all it needs a shout there. So it's bad judgment by Connor Goldson last night. I mean, the only saving grace is, as you were saying, Ali, like when they were coming forward, they were getting loads of spacing into our box. Their finishing was woeful. I think there was one that Lundstrom had it in their half. He tried to cut inside. The ball got nicked off him. They ran up. I think Di Maria won it. Come back inside, and I think he put it about 10 metres wide. It was their finishing was pretty bad. Saying that, we showed a level of commitment right across the back line, chucking bodies in front of the ball and everything. That's, as Rangers fans, it's what you want to see. We talk about winning the battle and showing that type of commitment in games, especially defensively. So we can't be too harsh, but at times, Goldson's form's kind of worrying me. I think he looks leggy. I think he looks tired. And I'm sure we're going to come on to it later on, but I think he could do with maybe a wee bit of a rest before we get back into domestic form in the league.
Yeah, I mean, in the comments, he's getting slaughtered a wee bit. I'll be honest, I thought an overall play, I thought he was okay in overall play, to be honest. I didn't think he was having a bad game. I just thought that one moment, which can cost you in big games, he was all at sea for me. Carney, what was your kind of thoughts on the Goldson mistake? And did you think at that point, because it was 25 minutes to go, we could be in for a long 25 minutes?
Yeah, I did. I'm in agreement with you. I don't think he was particularly bad the whole game. I thought he was showing kind of commitment in terms of making interceptions. But I do think I think we looked shaky at times because I'm not bashing. I'm just being honest on what I seen on what I seen in the 90 minutes last night. I thought Tav defensively was all over the place. He didn't want to be up against the boy that he was playing me outright, and I don't know if Goldson was thinking more about what Tav was going to do, etc. And there definitely seemed to be a breakdown in communication with the goal, because Jamie's right. It seems pretty simple. It doesn't really seem a very complicated one. A shout for the keeper there is all we really need. Ewan, thank you so much for the super sticker. That's very much appreciated. Thank you for that. But I didn't think it was particularly great. Look, I think we should take blame as a podcast, because since we had the discussion about Connor Goldson maybe being a Hall of Famer, he's been rank, and at times anyway, and you're like, God, but I think I don't want to be too harsh on him. It's a brain fart, an absolute massive brain fart that he's had, and yeah, it's just awful. It's a poor decision. He's made his mind up very early what he's going to do with the ball when it comes over. The pace of the ball, the angle of the ball that it's going, he's caught it perfectly. I mean, couldn't have caught it any more perfect, straight into the top bag, and you were like, that's unfortunate. And I was more frustrated at the fact that they hadn't scored from open play, and Butland made a couple of good saves. Of course he did. As you would expect in a European tie, you would expect at this stage of the competition, you would expect them to get chances. You would expect your keeper to have to make a save or two, which he did. But I just thought, they've not scored from open play. That's a penalty that's controversial at best, and then an own goal where there was no pressure on Goldson at that point. I mean, the replay makes it look even worse as well. At the time of the speed of play, you're just like, boom, goal. You were like, what happened there? And when you see the replay, there's no Benfica players within about 2 or 3 yards of him. He doesn't need to do anything there. So yeah, I feel for him. I really do feel for him. I think he is one of them that's looking a bit leggy. I don't think he's the only one, but I still stand by that he's the best centre half we have at the club, and I don't think we're ready to go forward with Balogun and Davies or Balogun and Souttar. I think so. No matter what, Goldson still plays for me.
Yeah, I think he will, to be honest. It was unfortunate because if that was Connor Goldson in the Benfica box with one of our corners, he wouldn't have bulleted that in the back of the net, because he can never do that. But I did think after that, they had a wee spell, Benfica, but it really didn't really hurt us at all, Jamie. And ultimately, we get out of there with a 2-week straw, and it sets up absolutely lovely. Next Thursday, 6:15, remember everyone, at Ibrox. Ibrox will be bouncing next Thursday.
Ibrox is going to have about 10 folk in it next week, since it's a 6:15 kickoff. Everyone's still going to be at their work. Like, well, what are you thinking about that? But no, honestly, mate, I think just to get back home to Ibrox, and we know what it's like. We know what it's like. It drove us to that final in Seville, the Braga game, the Dortmund game, the Leipzig game. We were all there. It was moments you're never going to forget. And next Thursday, it gives us another chance to go to Ibrox and experience these euphoric moments again. Do you know what I mean? It's just like to be in the competition, and I'm hearing a lot of feedback about, it's the squad's looking thin. It's a bit of a hindrance. At times, I've been thinking the same as well. I've got almost laser focus in terms of wanting to win the league this season. I think it's because we're so close. But when we're back in Europa and we're playing this well, and we're drawn away to a team that's not been beat in the Europa League, you've got to kind of stand up and take note and think, right, we've all just got to side with the gaffer here. We've got to side with Clement and say, we're in a competition, we're Rangers, and we're there to try and win it. That's it.
Yeah, Carney, next week, as we said at the beginning, all we wanted was for Rangers to keep the tie alive. The tie is, last night is kind of null and void, if you want to say, because away goals don't count in football games. So last night kind of is gone. It's a one game shoot off between the two of us to see what happens. But we've been there. Anything can happen in Ibrox on a Thursday night.
On paper, yes, I agree, mate. It means not. It's kind of null and void in terms of the scoreline, but Benfica will be feeling worse than what we are, because they now have to come to Ibrox. The Trying Scotsman, thank you very much for becoming a member, mate. Sorry that it's green and white. Everybody's going to say, why is it green and white? I don't know. I can't get it changed. I've tried. I am sorry. It's not Northern Ireland green, as Ryan would say. But yeah, I think that's a more mental blow for them because they've hit a bit of a sticky patch just now. So look, I am massively proud of the team last night. I really am. We are running. There's a lot of games. We played a lot of games even since we've had a break, and there's injuries galore really just now. So you've got to be proud. You've got to be proud of that performance. Everybody I spoke to, even after it, people that are not of our persuasion either, were saying that's a cracking result for you. That really is, and everybody knows what can happen at Ibrox on a Thursday night. So no, I'm delighted with the draw. At half time, I was muttering to myself that we could win this. I was going, we could actually win this, but to get back to Ibrox is going to be absolutely rocking. 5:45 or not, there'll be half days galore on Thursday. Ibrox will be full to the rafters. There's absolutely no doubt about it, and we'll be ready to give them the extra wee bit of G that they need to get through the tie. But I'm looking forward to it as I always do. Thursday nights at Ibrox Thursday evenings at Ibrox. Thursday dinner times at Ibrox. I've yet to experience that.
It'll still be light as well.
Yeah, we'll still be late. We'll get dark though. That's the thing. It will get dark while we're there, but. Yeah, bring it on. Absolutely bring it on. The tie's alive. Ibrox can do special things on Thursday nights, and I can't wait for it, mate, already. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, no, I can't wait for it. I think there'll be a lot of full days and half days getting taken next Thursday for a lot of people. So
I'm a early start, early finish on Thursday.
I'm working this Sunday to cover for somebody, and I'm taking Thursday off next week, which conveniently helped me, so I'll have the whole of Thursday.
Conveniently, yes. Imagine that. How did that work?
Yes, I was quite happy to work this Sunday because Rangers are playing at 5:30 on Sunday as well. So it worked out quite well.
What did you finish on Sunday? Finish at 4 on Sunday, don't you?
Yeah. So
what a coincidence that is! What a coincidence! That's strange, isn't it? Very strange.
I know, but. Aye, but anyway, I was going to talk. Well, we will talk about some notable players, but I'm looking at the time there. So, yes, it's my favourite part of the podcast now. It's time for the Manscaped promo. The podcast is brought to you by the spring cleaning champions, Manscaped. This season, make sure to groom your carpets and the drapes with the leaders in below the waist grooming. Clear out that winter bush with Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0 and watch your confidence bloom. Embrace the season and join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com and use club at 22 for 20% off and free shipping. After using Manscaped, I can finally say I have caught the spring fever. Introducing this season's champ, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Their fifth generation trimmer features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. It also features dual LED spotlights to guide you through the darkest winter debris. Navigate with confidence in your delicate areas, and it is also waterproof. Spring cleaning doesn't just apply to the nether regions. Get the full grooming experience with Manscaped signature beard hedger pro kit and handyman electric face shaver. Whether looking to craft your signature look or clean up that neckline, these are always the right tools for the job. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUB22 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUB22 at manscaped.com. Everyone loves a bit of spring cleaning, and our friends at Manscaped give you the best tools for the job. Thank you, Manscaped.
I forgot to Americanise that for you. That's not even a word. That's not how you say that.
Yeah.
But I could tell I was like, you're struggling with the because it's the Americans that write it. I was like, I forgot to do that for you.
It's a bit of a tongue twister sometimes.
It is. Jamie, you've now got your Manscaped kit, mate. How is it?
I've not used it yet. I'm waiting.
What?
I'm waiting.
Oh, come on, Jamie.
I know.
Come on.
I'm waiting, boys. Don't worry. I'll report back. I'll report back live on a Friday as well. I'll give you a full rundown of how it is now. But I was very excited when it dropped through the door the other week. So now I'm looking forward to using it.
Yeah, we remember when we done the launch of the, what do you call it, the handyman one, and me and Ali are raving about it, like how good it is. I was like, Scotia, how you enjoying it as much as me and Ali? He's like, yeah, I've not used it. I'm like, of course you haven't. Like, God's sake, man. So, but no, Manscaped stuff is class. Genuinely, it's brilliant. So you'll enjoy it, Jamie. When the moment comes, mate, your balls will definitely thank you.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, Jamie, just remember it's waterproof as well, so you can take it in the shower, don't worry.
You can.
There we go. There we go. Bath and everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, can't wait, boys. Can't wait. You're selling it so well, Ali. Selling it so well, mate.
I know. Should get a job for Manscaped. But anyway, moving on. Notable players for me last night. Carney, one man for me who I thought had his best game in that Rangers jersey, and I'll be telling him for the rest of the games that we have going forward that we are playing Portuguese opposition every game, which includes this Sunday. I thought Fabio Silva was absolutely outstanding last night. I thought his work rate was fantastic. Jamie won't like this, but his man D9 up front, I thought I didn't think he was great at all. I thought he was very poor. Silva was looking up at times, probably thinking, do I need to pass to him? But I thought Silva in particular, Carney, if he can give us that performance to the end of the season, we've got a right player there, because we have zero wingers apart from Ross McCausland at the moment. So we need players to step up, and he stepped up last night for me.
100% did, mate. I couldn't agree more. By far the best performance I've seen him in a Rangers jersey. We've all kind of discussed and flirted with the idea of maybe Silva playing out on the left, and I thought it worked a treat last night. I thought he gave them a torrid time. They were trying to get in amongst him. You could see they were leaving wee niggly bits on him, trying to leave bits on him, and he was quick feet getting past people. His work rate coming back as well, I thought was terrific for a guy that's meant to be a striker. I give full credit to him. He was brilliant. He was almost the difference maker, well, probably the difference maker for us last night. I just thought he was superb. He was involved in both goals. Obviously, it was his assist for the second goal, but obviously it was his pass to Diamonde for the cut back cross for Lawrence to score the first. And yeah, he was brilliant. Honestly, he was. He just kind of. He was up for it. He was just completely up for it. I think he wanted to silence a few critics, obviously, maybe put to bed a few criticisms you might have had in his country when he was there. So I'm delighted with how he performed, and he has to really just keep that kicking on. If I don't think he'll become a Rangers player, I honestly don't, because I think the money involved would be way out of what because he was bought for 35 million, you're not getting him for like 5-6 million. That's not going to happen. So I think he'll be out our reach. But yeah, he kind of set himself a benchmark last night for the rest of the season, and working out on the left, it seemed to work. It really did. And since that is an area just now that we're light on in terms of Cortez, Sima, Matondo, nobody knows where he is. There's no really any kind of natural left winger for us. So yeah, I mean, I think it'll mean that Dessers pretty much starts every game, even though obviously Kamar Roof did come on last night, but I would be for starting him out on the left on Sunday anyway, because it was definitely the best performance I've seen from him so far. I thought he was great, mate. He was my man of the match.
Yeah, Jamie, that left-hand side, until we get players back, has to be Silva's going forward, because I just thought that's best performance he's put in the Rangers jersey since he's came here.
Yeah, I mean, I've just got to echo what Scott said. That obviously I watched Scott's post-match last night, and he was definitely the best player on the park. I mean, when Sima got injured, I was fearful of who we're going to get in that has the work rate of Sima, because since Clement came in, Sima was just up and down that wing. Honestly, like tireless work rate. So for me, that was a big worry. But seeing Silva play in that position last night, and I think that's the first time he's played off the wing. He obviously came on a 2-1 defeat, but they had 10 men behind the ball, so there wasn't a lot of space for him. Even at that, I think he actually did all right, even though we get beat. But yeah, just to echo what Scott says, I think he's a proper player. There's not going to be any chance in hell we're going to get a guy. I mean, I think probably the only chance is if Wills want to hold on to him, because they'll obviously see there's a player there. There's a big fee involved, and we get him for another year on loan. So we'll need to wait and see. But look, let's just enjoy him while he's here. Let's just enjoy him for the rest of the season. And after last night, he's properly solidified that left wing role, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll stay with you, Jamie. Obviously, there's one man that's not on the podcast tonight because he's sunning himself and is on another holiday. Far too many holidays he gets, Mr. Carney. on this podcast. But
he doesn't even put the question now until he's on the plane, mate. So I can't really do very much about it.
I know. So I'd assume he's lying on the beach right now, listening to us. But there's one man that I have to give him credit about that most of us wrote off at the beginning, and young Yilmaz. I think this boy's just getting better and better, Jamie. I thought last night, and I was watching people in the comments as we were talking about Silva, that Yilmaz being man of the match. I thought he was outstanding last night. I just thought his work rate, flinging himself in for tackles. He's a wee guy, but he gets stuck in, and he gets up and down the park as well. He's just getting better and better, Yilmaz, and he looks like that £5 million player that we purchased.
We spoke about it on the pod before. I just think he took a lot of time to get settled in Scotland. I think we spoke about it. It was a Tuesday night. The fact that he didn't know the language and things like that. So I just think now you're seeing the best version of Ridvan Yilmaz. I just think he's absolutely brilliant. He was on Di Maria like a fly last night. I mean, Di Maria was still quite good and he got a bit of space. But he really, I think...
He's a fanny, by the way, Jamie. Sorry for my language, but that Di Maria shooting off the park last night.
Yeah.
Flood. Total flood. But as well, by the way, like, on a side note, he should have get sent off because you can't raise your hand. See the one in the first half? Again, how is VAR not picking things like that up? It's just an absolute
Even
shambles.
The Stonewall booking, I know we're going off script here, but even the Stonewall yellow card and John Suter 5 minutes from the end, he should be walking in a second.
I know. It's absolute madness. But no, Yilmaz, he's brilliant. Again, like I'm running out of words to describe the wee man. He's just absolutely sensational. I think when I came on the pod, it felt as if Mr. Haymarch was starting to win me round with the Turkish Delight. And the thing about it is, I actually don't need him to win me around. The guy, he's won me around himself. He's everywhere and he's everything that we want in a left back. He's so direct. He gets his head up and looks for a pass every single time. And obviously we know the thing with Borna that has it's upset some fans is Borna back pass, isn't it? He cuts back inside. It was nothing like the first season Borna, but I just think Yilmaz he's just going to get better and better for us. And it's like complaining about his height before just seems in the past now. It's not a thing anymore. I just think again Clement's came in and he's just made a player who we thought was pretty average absolutely brilliant and a proper stalwart in our team now.
Yeah, Carney, Yilmaz, Mr. Haymarch will love to tell us that he told us so. He told us, and Lewis Ferguson, who we all know is doing very well out in Bologna and his way out of our reach now, but he did say about Yilmaz, I'll need to give him credit on it. He did say, stick with this boy, he will come good. And yeah, Carney, it just shows me that Borna Barisic should be absolutely nowhere near that left back slot unless Yilmaz was injured potentially.
Yeah, there's no doubt, absolutely zero doubt. I think it's full credit to Clement for settling Yilmaz. I don't think it'll be an element of time that has passed for Yilmaz in order to settle into the squad and settle into playing in this country. But I don't think you can underestimate the effect that Clement is going to have on him. He's by far the best left back now that we have at the club. The style of play that Clement is asking him to do as well seems to suit him down to the ground because he's cutting in quite a lot. He's not like a straight up and down the kind of left hand flank. He's got kind of more diagonal runs to make to go more central, and he was fantastic again last night. I think it was definitely between him and I think three of them. I thought Sterling was great. I thought Yilmaz was great, and I thought Silva was great. But Yilmaz is probably been my second choice. And yeah, he's doing all the right things now, and the decision to keep hold of him over the January window seems to be paying off, because if he continues on like this, then his price is going up. His selling price is going up the way, and there will be offers for him. I would imagine there will be offers for him because he is that very much modern fullback of bombing forward, not scared. I think his ability to cut out passes is terrific. Honestly, the way that he reads the game is so good. And because he's quick off the mark, he's very good at cutting that pass out. Maybe a pass over like 8-10 yards. He's very quick to get in front of the defender and immediately wants to go forward with it. He's very exciting. He's an exciting talent, and he's finally living up to the kind of price that we paid for him. So full credit to him. Honestly, full credit to him. And you're right, Borna Barisic shouldn't be anywhere near our starting 11 now going forward. Even this rotation thing, nope, not for it. Yilmaz is young. He's got enough in the tank now. He can play for the rest of the season in that position, and hopefully he stays injury free, because it looks like he might be over that. And yeah, just full credit to him. He was absolutely superb last night. He needs to shave his goatee off, but I know I'm saying that, and I've got a ridiculous beard. I do understand that, but I don't like I don't like his goatee.
We need to get him a wee Manscaped subscription, by the way.
Oh, we should actually. Yeah, we should get him sorted. Get him.
I can. I'll say it right to text him and tell him that. But and I hope the Moth's not watching tonight, because it was with slaughtered Barisic there. So, but I can't. Another two. I'll put the two of these guys in together that I also thought were very good last night, and obviously I can see a time up in the corner there. But Diamande, for me, I think since he's come into this Rangers team, you can see he's a very clever player. I thought he was very good last night, Diamande, along with Tom Lawrence as well. Tom Lawrence is critical for us until Cantwell comes back, and I hope he doesn't get injured. But the two of them last night, I thought they were very good. The way they can move with a ball and drive with a ball last night, it was, Diamande, I think, could be special for us next season.
I thought a few times towards the start of the game, and I'm being honest, I thought Diamande took a wee bit of time to get settled. He gave away stupid passes. The unforced errors were quite high, where he was just not concentrating, not fully switched on with the passes, but he didn't half grow into the game. Towards the end of the game, he was absolutely superb. He really was. As the game went on, even, he was absolutely superb. So no, I think he's definitely got himself into the starting 11 now as well. And I prefer him being a wee bit deeper than being further forward. I think that it's more naturally suited to him as playing as an 8, probably more than a 10. So no, I thought he was really good. Lawrence he's just a player. Do you know what I mean? He's just one of these boys you watch him play for. You're a player, and he knows he's good. Do you know what I mean as well? And he's very much getting to the point as well where I'm going, would I prefer Cantwell or would I prefer Lawrence right now? And I think it's a fantastic situation to be finding ourselves in. Lawrence is massively important. You can see why he was brought to the club. You really can. You can see that there's definitely ability within him, and he's beginning to show it. So no, both credit to both of them for their performances last night. And it will be interesting to see once Cantwell's fit, which shouldn't be too much longer, I don't think. It'll be interesting to see the kind of, I'd imagine it will be a rotation between Cantwell and Lawrence to try and keep them both fit, if that makes sense. One playing 60-70 minutes, and then the next game one playing 60-70 minutes, something along the lines of that. But Lawrence, I'm a big fan. And I hate when you're right, Alistair, so it shows you how much of a fan I am of him, that I didn't immediately hate him as soon as you said that he was good when he was coming to the club. But no, Diamande and Lawrence were superb last night.
Yeah, I just think he's getting better, Lawrence, now, because he's playing games now more regularly, and you can see
yeah,
in him.
Definitely.
I just think he's similar-ish to Scott Arfield. He can run beyond, but he can score goals, etc. Jamie, obviously the first goal was a Diamande assist and a Lawrence finish. But what was your thoughts on the two of them last night?
You took the words right out of my mouth, mate. He's so Scott Arfield. See the late runs into the box. He's like. That's why we love Scott Arfield. That's how he got so many goals for us as well. On Diamande, I actually think that he had a few subpar games, to be completely honest with you. I think he went off the boil a wee bit, especially against Motherwell. Like Scotty said, he was losing the ball in pretty dangerous areas. But last night, he was unbelievable. I honestly thought he might have handballed that one that he took down his chest for the first goal, but he cushions it down, plays it out at Silva. It's a lovely wee skip inside from Silva as well, and the ball down the line, and he follows his running, and it's not a hit and hope ball from Diamande. It's a lovely flighty chip into the box. He knows exactly where he's putting it, the danger area, and Lawrence is just coming in. It's that late run, and it kind of he's Tom Lawrence. For me, he is one of our most key players now. I actually think when he was dropping deeper into the midfield role with Lundstrom in a few games and Cantwell was playing as well, I'd play them both. Actually, I think Diamandi's good. I still think he's to get up to speed, especially in a domestic sense in the league games. If Cantwell comes back in, for me, it's a Tom Lawrence a little bit deeper in Cantwell, because the way in which they were linking up before Cantwell got injured was frightening, by the way, boys. Like, really, really good. But I just think having players like this at our disposal at the moment is a brilliant thing to have. And again, it's for the complaint for Clement to have is, who does he play? And we know that he likes to rotate the team too. So I think we're going to, as Scott said, we're going to see a lot of that moving forward.
Yeah, and I hope we see some players coming back. The only thing I seen last night, which slightly worried me, is these players we've got at the moment, because there's nobody probably really coming back until after this international break. So these guys are going to have to go for us for the next, I think it's 3 games now to the international break. Most of them are going to have to play these games. It's the first time I looked at us last night, especially last 20 minutes, Carney. I looked at John Lundstrom in particular. I thought we looked very leggy, which is going to happen. You're chasing the ball against a team like Benfica. In the league, we have a lot of the ball, so it's not going to happen in the league. But it worried me in terms of so we'll come on to Sunday, but that last 15, 20 minutes, we looked like we were running an empty, to be honest.
Yeah, there was heavy legs, wasn't there? I thought Lundstrom was the one that stood out for me, and the bit that Jimmy mentioned earlier on when he gave the ball away, you know, that's just tiredness. That's nothing else. That's just because you can see there was a replay of it as it broke, and as soon as Lundstrom lost the ball, you could see his head just dip, because he was like, if I wasn't knackered, I wouldn't have just done that kind of thing. I think it speaks volumes for John Lundstrom, the fact that Clement could have took him off last night. He could have figured out a way to take him off, and he was like, no, he's staying on the pitch. Like that, he is the trusted guy in the middle of that park, and he gives everything now. Lundstrom is now working under a manager that believes in him, and he believes in the manager, and he's willing to run through brick walls. He'll do whatever he has to do. He did look tired, though. He did. I thought that a few of them started to look quite tired towards the end. I could see why he was bringing Lawrence off. And it obviously brought off Stelling, obviously, I think more so because of the booking, as you mentioned. And obviously, we've seen that he had a nice pack on, so he might have felt slightly tight. Hopefully, there's nothing too serious in that. But even Tavernier, I thought, looked pretty tired as well. It's these guys that are the mainstays in the team. So, your likes of Goldsons, Taverniers, Lundstrom's, these guys that play week in, week out, because they are the kind of the core of the team, if that makes sense. But they did look tired. It is a bit of a concern, mate, but I'll judge it properly, I think, after Sunday, and see how we got on Sunday. There's not long to go until we get to the international break. We just need a wee bit more from these players. Time will tell if the new fitness regime that Clement will have put into place in Rangers, we'll soon find out if it's working.
Yeah, Jamie, like I was saying, we did look a wee bit leggy, and we have to go with these players until this international break. But I mean, I've seen people today talking about, we'll come on to our teams and bring Lundstrom out and put Ryan Jack in for Sunday, but I can't see Clement pulling guys like him out. He stays in the team for me. But they'll need to go for these 3 games until we hit this international break.
I don't know. I think because John Lundstrom, since Clement came in, has been so key, and as Scotty said, he's been the main cog in the big film machine. I think he needs a bit of a break, to be fair, mate. He looked spent. He looked absolutely spent. As Scott said, when he loses the ball, he's not been doing that at all. He's been almost faultless, John Lundstrom. He really has, and we've spoke about it in the pod. How he went from the form that he had with the previous manager to under Clement is just it's night and day. So I think he needs a break. I don't want to say that because he's so key to our performance in the way in which we play, but that's a good shout, mate. I think Ryan Jack could probably be coming in for the game on Sunday against Hibs, but we'll wait and see, and we'll obviously go on our teams.
Yes, and talking about Hibs, that's what we're going to talk about now. So we play Hibs in the quarter-finals of the Scottish Cup on Sunday, 5:30 kickoff on Viaplay. Hibs are a bit of a basket case of a club, to be honest. They're a bit all over the shop. Last time we played them, which was the 24th of January, we convincingly beat them 3-0. Goals from Yilmaz, Cantwell stunner, and Jamie's man D9 scoring that goal as well up there. Rangers have done quite well at Easter Road recently, but Hibs in the last 5 games, looking at them, they've won 3 and drawn 2. The last round of the Cup, they beat Inverness away 3-1 to play us in the next round. Carney, Hibs, when we played them in January, they were missing quite a few players that were AFCON, I think. Martin Boyle wasn't playing. I know Martin Boyle is back for them now. They've got a few players back, but they've started to pick up a bit of form now, Hibs. When they played us, I thought they were far too open, and we just picked them apart. I think they'll play against us, but I don't think they'll be as open as they were previously.
Yeah, quickly, I'm just going to address something that's happened in the chat there during us being live. There seems to have been adverts appeared during the show. That's my fault, by the way. My apologies, because my laptop was a bit slow in getting up and running. I forgot to go into YouTube and make that not happen. Apologies, everybody. We don't usually do that, so I am sorry about that. It's nothing that you'll see going forward. It's just an error on my part. Sorry. Hibs. Look, we every time we talk about Easter Road, we always go, we need to get out our heads that it's a big game. It's a tough place going to Easter Road, because recently, in times as you've just said, mate, we've got on well there. We've managed to win more often than not when we're going to Easter Road. Hibs, I think they got a draw last weekend with Parts. Is that right? They drew 1 each. Is that correct?
They won 2-0 last week, and they drew against Hearts the previous one.
The previous one, yeah. Against
that was a midweek one, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Who did they win 2-0 against?
Now you're asking me. They won 2-0 against Sunday.
Let's say Livy.
Ross County.
Ross County. Right, well, there you go. So again, I think I still think Rangers have got more than enough. I do. I think going to Easter Road, I think it's easy to build it up as being something that's maybe not. I'm not saying underestimate it, of course not, and it is. It's basically it's a cup. It is actually a cup game. I was going to say it's like a cup game. It is a cup game. So look, they'll be up for it, because it's pretty much all they have to go for the rest of this season. So they're definitely going to come and give it their best go. But I still think Rangers should be kind of strolling into town feeling confident about themselves. I think even though we've discussed the concerns about the legginess of the team, the kind of fitness levels, to see where we're at after such a big effort on Thursday night, I still think the buzz that they'll have after it, and the response that there's been from pretty much the majority of Rangers fans, are how delighted we were and proud that we were of the team last night in Lisbon. I think we'll be okay, mate. I do think we'll be okay. Then they get an extra day off, if that makes sense, between then and Benfica, and Benfica will really be. It'll really be Ibrox's part. I think the crowd are going to be a massive part in order to keep them going and keep their adrenaline levels as high as they can. So, look, yeah, it's a big game, mate, at 100% it is, but it's another game that I think Rangers should be feeling confident about going into Sunday, because of the performance they put in last night. You put half of that effort, 3/4 of that effort that you put in last night against Hibs on Sunday, and you should be just fine.
Yeah, Jamie, it's a cup tie. To be fair, Hibs, and to give Hibs some sort of credit, they never sit in against Rangers. They give it a go. I don't think they'll be expansive as they were. We played them last time, but I still think they'll come out and have a go, Hibs. So they should suit Rangers. What's your thoughts for Sunday?
I think Hibs always kind of come out and let us have a bit of a go, and I think in recent times we've always performed well at Easter Road. There's your man Justin with the wee.
Thank you very much, Justin.
We've got
God bless America.
Cheers, Justin.
Cheers, Justin. I know. So I think when we go at Hibs, we're always full of confidence here, because it's a very open game. I think we're going to see the changes getting wrong, definitely. But look, it's our squad and the players that we have. Even if we make 4 or 5 changes, we should be beating Hibs. We talk about this all the time in the domestic games. We should be going there and winning that game. And as well, I think something to note is Clement saying the camaraderie and the team ethos between the squad is at an all-time high. I think you just need to look at that, boys. It's like if the players come in, they know how to play a system, and it's. I think he mentioned recently, guys on the bench, guys that aren't even making the bench that are in the squad, they're still full of belief in terms of like that camaraderie and that positivity they have with their teammates. So I think if the changes get wrong, we're still going to have enough to beat Hibs on Sunday.
Yeah, and coming on to teams and scores, and first goal scorer, he does rotate Clement from game to game. I expect him to rotate for Sunday. Not many. In my team, I've got 3 he's changing. So my team is Butland, Tav, Goldson. I think Balogun might come in. Yilmaz, John Lundstrom for me will start. He's just one of the guys that will start for him. I'm sticking with Diamandi. I did think about Ryan Jack in there, but Diamandi, I just think he's a fit guy. He plays for me. Tom Lawrence. I'm playing Silva out on the left. I'm playing McCausland out on the right. And I'm playing, Jamie, you will not like this,
Kemar
Roof. So then I thought he looked quite sharp when he came on the other night. I think he's looked kind of sharp when he's come on in previous games. I'm not saying he's going to play the full 90 here, but we're starting with Kemar Roof in my team. I'm going 3-1 Rangers, and I'm going to go Silva, first goal scorer. Jamie, what is your team?
Everyone thinks I'm a mad D9 cheerleader. I am, by the way. I am. But in this instance, and after the other night, I think he's needing a bit of. I think he's needing a wee seat on the bench, really. And I think Roof, when he came on, was pretty good. He done a lot more in terms of holding the ball up and actual runs. I just think Dezer's. I think he's a confidence player. I don't think he's scored in a few games, and I think that starts to set in. So I agree with you. I think Roof will come in. I think for this title run in, we've got 9 league games left. That's 9 cup finals. We need a fit and firing Kemar Roof. We all know what he's like. He like we spoke about it so many times on the pod. If he was fully fit, he wouldn't be playing for us. He'd be playing down south in the Prem. So I think Roof comes in. I'll go at the back line. I'm going to go Butland, Tav. I don't think Tav looked as tired as the rest of them. I think he had a pretty good game defensively and going forward our night. I think Tav stays in. I think he's got to stay in. I'm going to go Balogun. I'm going to rest. I'm going to rest Goldson. I'm going to stick by what I said earlier on. I think he looks leggy and I think he needs it. I'm going to go with Suter. Ridvan's got to be in there because I don't want to see Borna for the rest of the season. I think the wee Turkish delight's just going to have to soldier on for the rest of the season and play pretty much every game. With you, I think Lundstrom. I think Lundstrom's going to stay in more so because he's Clement's man and he trusts him. I think it's going to be Diamandi, Tom Lawrence in the 10, Silva on the left, McCausland on the right, and I'm with you, mate. I think Roof's going to start, and I think Roof's going to have a very good game and make an impact, and he's going to show what the type of player he actually is when he's not injured. And I'm going to go 2-0 Rangers, and I'm going to go Kemar Roof to score first.
I take it Dessers comes off the bench to score the second.
Oh no, he comes off to score a hat trick, mate.
Well, that'll make your score 4-0.
And that'll be 10 goals the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Gardy, your team score and goal scorer.
Yeah, I think I can see arguments with Goldson and being rested. I just can't see it happening. I think it'll be Butland, Tav, Goldson, Balogun probably will come in because I think he's going to need to use him at some point. I think that's slightly unfair in Suter. I mean, slightly unfair player, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of chopping and changing the centre halves all the time, but I think it will be Balogun. Yilmaz, there's no way Lundstrom doesn't play. He will definitely start. This one I'm a wee bit mixed about because I do prefer Diamandi in the 8, but I'm also cautious that we really can't afford an injury to Tom Lawrence just now either, and I reckon Hibs will be pretty keen to not target him, but they'll not be giving him a lot of space. I think there'll be a lot of pressure on him. There'll probably be a good few tackles hitting him. So I wouldn't be shocked if we seen Sterling line up next to Lundstrom in the middle of the pitch. Diamonde playing a little bit further forward, and then the front three, I think Dessers will still play. I mean, as much as I think he could be doing with a game out and Kamaru starting a game, I'm not keen on that at all. Last time he started the game, he lasted 8 minutes, I think. So I'll go Silva, Dessers, and McCausland up front. I'm going to go for 3-1 Rangers, and I'm going to go for Dessers to score first.
Yeah, quite positive tonight in terms of the scoreline for Sunday. I think we should be, to be honest, going about Hibs. We've got a good record against Hibs, so and it's a cup game as well. So looking forward to it. So before we go, I'd like to thank everyone in the comments tonight. Sorry for being delayed coming on tonight, but these things happen, unfortunately, with technology. But yeah, thanks for everyone in the comments, the kind donations as well. And last but not least, my guest tonight. First of all, Jamie, thank you much for coming on.
Ali boy, thank you very much. Good to see you, boys. And the Phil Clement Belgian train rolls on.
Yes, and Mr. Carney, thank you very much as well. And in terms of a post-match on Sunday, I don't quite know what's happening there because it's 5:30 on Sunday, so I don't know if we're all watching the game. I think we've discussed this yet.
We can discuss it now. I'm probably watching mine in my gaff. Where are you watching the game?
If you'd have said the pub, I'd have probably came to the pub, but I'll watch it in the gaff as well.
So there'll be two of us.
I'm potentially watching it in the Viceroy.
Right, okay. So there'll probably be two of us on.
There will be a post-match.
There will be a post-match, 100%. No, thank you, everybody. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Sorry for being late. Sorry for the ads midway through. It's been a bit of an off day for me. Sorry, everybody. Can't be perfect all the time. Do you know what I mean? So, no, really enjoyed the chat tonight, lads. And we roll into Sunday now, another massive game. But thank you, everybody.
Yep, we do. As Jamie says earlier on, every game from now on is a cup final. We've got 9 games in the league. We're playing in all fronts. We've got the Europa League coming up. We've got the Scottish Cup this Sunday as well. So it's all good in the world of Rangers.
Can we finish on this? The Trying Scotsman is Butland the most handsome player since Godrup? Absolutely. Absolutely is.
No contest.
No contest.
Oh God! Imagine a love child between Godrup and Butland. By the way,
it would be a heartbreaker. Absolute heartbreaker.
If Jack Butland looks as good as he does now, when he's the same age as Laudrup, is what Laudrup is now, because Laudrup hasn't aged at all. So
that's good point.
Yes, that's a podcast at its own. Who's the best looking Rangers player or something? That's one for the females, maybe for us.
That probably is one for the it probably is. Since we're all heterosexual males, probably is one for the females. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that as a bonus pod one night. But yes, definitely. Thank you very much for, as I said, for everyone in the comments, and thank you for my guests. We have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Good night.